Steve. All right, let's just get this button. Got it. Great. Welcome, friends. And oh, this is so great. Thanks, Steve. It's just a matter of meeting book lovers, you know. This is our magical book, and I am completely obsessed with this. And the more time I can spend in this, and the more time I get to apply it in my life and just see the miracles unfold, I just fall more and more in love. So you have to bear with me. I am going to take us through this book tonight. If you've got it with you, grab your pens, grab your highlighters, and stay with me. I'll give you some time so we can get to the pages. I'm Nadia, and I am a grateful, recovered alcoholic. And this is just so awesome being here with you guys. I'm just going to take a little moment because I see a lot of faces that I recognize, and I'm nervous. I'm feeling a little bit nervous. This is quite unusual for me. Normally, I just dive right in there. And I think also there's a lot of new people here, and there's some new service members that I'm going to be doing service with. So I've got some new family that I'm busy building a relationship with, and it's all around the big book. So Steve asked me to share on step 2. We came to believe that a power greater than us could restore us to sanity. We came to believe that a power greater than myself could restore me to sanity. You know, up until, so I'll just qualify very quickly. I am almost 3.5 years sober now. It's not my first sobriety date. For anybody that's a newcomer, take my number. If you can get hold of me, and I'll give you all the ways how not to get sober. Because I thought I had a drinking problem. The thing is, I don't have a drinking problem. I don't have a using problem. I have a living problem. I am exactly as it states in the doctor's opinion. When I'm not getting that sense of ease and comfort from my drink, I am restless, irritable, discontent. And that translates today as, I'm not a doctor, but I've had all of these diagnoses: bipolar, anxiety, depression, adult ADHD. And if I look at the words restless, irritable, and discontent, that's what I felt permanently my whole life. Even from when I was really teeny tiny. That was those 3 words. I tell you, when those 3 words were read to me, that was the deal kicker. That just signed the deal for me. Then I was sitting upright, and I was like, looks like here's something that I can hear. But the problem is, for 7 years prior to that, I'd been listening to a lot of watered down messages. Now, I don't know if it wasn't because I wasn't ready for it. I don't know, maybe, I don't know. It just is what it is. It just worked out the way it did. You know, I was being told not to drink and come to meetings. I tried a sister fellowship that it had there's no big book there at all. I tried it my way, Nadia Anonymous. It almost got me killed. What else did I do? I tried affirmations, and you know, sticking beautiful affirmations, these slogans that we hear in the room, sticking them on my mirror while I brush my teeth, and in the morning at the car, you know, on the dashboard. That didn't work. It was when somebody opened the pages of the big book at a meeting of this Zoom platform. Thank God for Zoom, and thank God for COVID. It sounds crazy, but thank God for COVID, because it brought a meeting into my lounge, and it brought you guys into my lounge. Because what were the chances I would ever hear someone from Toronto speak big book to me, or someone from Sweden? That would never happen in my little world. Okay, I would always be going to my little home group, and that would be it. And that would, like, maybe 1 or 2 rallies over the mountain. I live in a small town, and here I am. I've got this amazing global family, and we all speak the same language. And that is what happened when I got to a Zoom meeting. I heard this language that I hadn't heard in my 7 years, in and out of these rooms. So yeah, that I just want to say that 3.5 years ago, I got clean on the screen, they call it. At 18 months, I was at the jumping off point. I couldn't live with alcohol or without it. As it says in the big book, I can't remember now page that is. The alcoholic will come to a point where he can't live with alcohol without it. He will be at the jumping off point and know loneliness like few others can. And I think you guys get me. You know, if you're an alcoholic of my type, the hopeless variety, we get loneliness. And I was being woken up at 2 in the morning, 18. This is what blows my mind. And that's the second part of step one. 2 o'clock in the morning, I'm being woken up with suicidal thoughts, with a voice far more powerful than I've ever heard in my life, telling me that I'm a shit mother, excuse my language, I do swear every now and then, that maybe the world's a better place without me. You know, you're going to those meetings and everyone's just so happy clappy, but not you. There's something wrong with you. And that was the problem. I always felt like there was something wrong with me. I was always last in the queue, even when it came to God. I was always last in the queue, like the day that God was dishing out life, skin that fitted properly and didn't scratch and feel like it was on the wrong side out. I rocked up late, or maybe I didn't get the memo. Like God did not love me. God was pissed off with me. I blame God. So we had a terrible relationship. I didn't have a terrible relationship with him always, though. As a kid, I had a thirst and a hunger for my childhood religion, which was Christianity. I had a thirst and a hunger for the Bible. I was just insanely in love with the words that were in that Bible. Um, and I hung out in the church all the time, hung on the lips of everybody. And then at the age of 15, I had a couple of heartbreaks, and that restlessness, irritability, and discontentment, and that insatiable quench for acceptance and attention just wasn't being it wasn't getting met at the church anymore. And I remember the day I was at the turning point. I stood at the turning point and I just said, that's it. Like I turned my back and I had my first drink of alcohol and all the heavens had opened. It was like the heavens had opened. I could hear angels singing and I knew this was it. And I saw that with the desperation of a drowning man for 30 years at the cost of 2 marriages, 2 small children. I was talking to Jem a little earlier. Little boy is living in Ireland because us alcoholics are tornadoes. Us tornadoes are alcoholics. Yep. And the topic is came to believe. And I came into these rooms with a lot of old ideas. It says in chapter 5 on page 58 at the bottom, it says we had to let go of our old ideas, else the result is nil, 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 nil. The problem was that I came into this Reams rooms and I was absorbing the book, but I had a lot of old ideas about what those words meant. And my sponsor kind of, she got hold of me on my shoulder and she said, you need to start Googling and get a dictionary. Get a dictionary, get the 1930s dictionary, get the Oxford Dictionary. I haven't had one in my possession since forever. And Google. And Google what these words meant. So let's start. I went to come to. So for me, like I can totally relate to coming to, you know, I would come to after 3, 4 days of blackout drinking. You know, when you're lying in, well, you come to. So your body starts, your eyes flutter open, that shit committee is just going nuts, and that the four horsemen, they're just here on your chest. Frustration, terror, bewilderment, and fear. You just know that I can actually feel it in my heart just talking to you. You know, I can't look at my phone because I don't know what's going to go. I don't know who I've said what and what I've done there. I've got to first fiddle around and see whose bed I'm in. And okay, I'm in my own bed. Right. On my car keys are here. And so slowly I come to the day and I just know that last night and the consequences I can't remember, but I can feel them on me. I can feel the consequences of my drinking and my using. I can feel them. And I'm too terrified to even reach out to anybody. says here that come to you reach or you are brought to a specified situation. This is, I love that, because the specific situation that I was brought to was realizing that any life run on self-will, any life, inside, outside these rooms, can hardly be a success. And I can spend hours here with you to speak to you about the wreckage and the debris that is my life. I brought the roof down on my head. And the specific situation that I came to believe in these rooms was that there is a power greater than me. There is a power greater than me, but I had a lot of old ideas about that power. That's the problem. He was a big guy in the sky with a white beard that had a movie camera, and he'd been filming me my whole life. And he'd given me a one-way ticket to hell, because when I sat in the pews as a kid, I heard that if you steal, you go to hell. And I was like, God, I've stolen since time immemorial. That's it, I'm going to hell. And there was like, my whole life was just like, be good, 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 because maybe you can cancel out the hell ticket. But yeah, anyway, like I said, when I turned my back, it was a free for all, and I just ran to the gates of hell willingly and insanely. And that's the next thing. So it says here, believe, to accept that something is true, especially without proof. Now, this is really, really hard, because I have been trying to control the outcomes of my life the whole life. That part in the book where it says the actor rearranging the ballet, selling the tickets, moving the chairs, being the director, rearranging the lights. Oh, that was me. That was me my whole life. My whole life. Lying to this one and making sure that I've got to keep all of these guys out the way, so that these guys don't, otherwise they're going to hear what this one, what I've lied to this one, and they're going to share my lies with this one. It's just insanity. It's just insanity trying to run the show. I had to realize that I had to quit playing God. And when my sponsor said that to me, I remember everything in me just reared up. I was like, what? Because I've been trying to run the show since I can remember. But I had to accept that something out there was going to take care of me, safe and protected. That's also a lot of words. Those two words also repeated throughout the book. That was not the characteristics I gave my God. That was not. It wasn't safe and protected. It was conditional, judgmental, finite. But through a lot of inventory and beautiful, beautiful step 5 processes with an amazing sponsor, I got to knock that finite God off its little pedestal and replace it with the infinite God that you guys have introduced to me in these pages. That's a power. And this is the other thing. I thought that you guys were going to tell me that I had to believe in a God, in a power. It's not, it doesn't say in. And this is typical Nadia. She doesn't read things properly. So for 3 years that I'm in these rooms doing the work and scrambling around and just, Googling and learning and hanging on your lips as you're sharing and talking to me, I'm just keeping quiet, just listening. But I didn't hear in step 2 that it says that, came to believe that a power. I thought you guys were saying to me, came to believe in a power. And I was like, but I don't like this God. I don't like it. I know that there's something out saving me, and I know that I'm looking at miracles. I'm 2, 4, 5, 20 blocks of miracles. I'm sure there's a lot more. Dead men walking, blind people seeing in these rooms, seeing the truth, deaf people, spiritually deaf people who can hear the spiritual truth now. I mean, you guys are miracles. Anybody who's got a sponsor who's like, is there a God? Just tell them to come to, just, have you been to a meeting lately, honey? There's like a table full of miracles thing there. Anyway, so you didn't tell me to come to believe in, you told me that I could believe that a power greater than me, not me. That's the ticket here, not me. I do not get this right all the time. I can promise you that. I do not get this right all the time. But this does depend a lot on my spiritual fitness. And I've had to learn through a lot of pain, a lot of self-will, a lot of old ideas, that the disciplines of step 10, step 11, and step 12 are vital. Vital. They give me life to my daily success. not success like ego success, but just in this program to grow spiritually, to help others, well, to stay close to God and to perform his work well, not perfectly, well. Restore, return to a former condition. Isn't that beautiful? It tells me, Bill is saying here to me that I had been in a beautiful, whole, sane condition. I had. I was probably born like that, but I can tell you at the age of 2.5, that sane condition was already marred because my earliest memory at 2.5 is wanting my baby sister dead because she was taking all the attention. She was taking all the attention. So my solution was, well, then she just shouldn't be here, like on planet Earth here. And that was at 2.5. So I reckon I had this former condition of sanity that the word restore implies. I had that for about 2.5 years. And then the rest of it was just insane alcoholism, selfish, self-centeredness, the root of our troubles. I had it long before I picked up a drink. Long before I picked up a drink. And then sanity. The Oxford Dictionary says that sanity is sound mental health. But the big book, I love it. The big book says insanity. This is the definition. So if we jump over to page 37, I need to know what insanity looks like. Bill writes it so beautifully. Just one little sentence. He says, this is when he talks about Jim taking a glass of milk and a shot of whiskey on a full stomach. I mean, I can have a drink because I've got a full stomach. He's had one glass of milk and a sandwich. He doesn't have one, he has two. I mean, come on, is that not alcoholic behavior, right? We can't just have one, we got to have two. And the insanity, that thinking, the thought came, perhaps I could have some whiskey in my milk. I have got a full stomach, you know, regardless of all the consequences. I mean, that is insane. And Bill says here, whatever the precise definition of the word may be, i.e., Nadia went and dug out for you from the Oxford Dictionary, sound mental health behaves in a rational manner. Bill says, how can such a lack of proportion of the ability to think straight be called anything else? And I tell you, that was when at 18 months in here, untreated, living in the bedevilments, sober, not a drop of nothing in me, no codeine, no cocaine, no alcohol, 18 months, and I want to kill myself. I'm at the jumping off point. And I'm having an argument in the kitchen with myself. And I'm sitting in these rooms and you're all smiling and loving on me, and I can't accept it because I hate myself. How can such a lack of proportion of the ability to think straight be called anything else? And you know what the problem was? I still hadn't come to believe that God could do it for me. And the problem is that, and the other thing that I hadn't realized yet is that the idea that I am like other people has to be smashed. Where does it say that? It says, yeah, page 30. That's like that is highlighted and sparkled and tagged to the nth degree, because I am not like other people. I am bodily and mentally different. My whole life, I wanted to be different, but I wanted to be the same. If all the kids were wearing green sneakers at school, I had to get green sneakers because I have to be like them. But then I would act and do everything to not to be different. But when I came into these rooms, you told me that the delusion that I am like other people, or presently maybe, has to be smashed. So my thinking has to be in partnership with God. That's what it is. It has to be in partnership with God. And that's what I believe this book is. I believe that this book, like it says, powerless, that was our dilemma. Where were we to find the power? Well, that's what this book is about. I think this book's deal is that it connects us with the power so that we are in partnership with God to do his work here on planet Earth. And what is his work? To carry this message to the still suffering alcoholic and addict. And that's the most amazing dope. There is no drug that I've ever taken in my life, and it doesn't matter how many volumes, how many because we'll pursue that. We'll pursue that uh to use and drink like other people and not have use and drink like I do, but not have my consequences have theirs. We'll pursue it to the gates of insanity or death. But I am now pursuing I'm pursuing step 12 work to the gates of it's not insanity or death, it's happy, joyous, and free. There's no we what we had gets replaced with the promises that are in this book, and that's 256 promises. I think there's some more. My sister's page always says there's some sneaky promises hanging around the book. So I think we should get together and number those sneaky promises. And yeah, that living in the bedevilments and that being at the jumping off point, that's just self-will, just selfish, self-centered, just absolute insanity. And then I took the hand of a big book sponsor. And I really took the hand of a big book sponsor. And I did what I did. The thing is, she said the program of recovery is suggested. But after that, once we've taken that, been at that turning point, and we make the decision and we do the work, we enlarge our spiritual life through steps 4 and 9, and we live in the disciplines of 10, 11, and 12. Never forgetting our step 1 experience. There's a lot of musts. There's a lot of musts. And you know why? Because this is a program of action. This is a program of action. There's a chapter named Into Action. Into Action. And at the end of that chapter, Bill says, there is action and more action. And Bill says it quite a few times in the book. There's action, there's more action. And I'm quite a lazy little cow. And I was like, there's more work. This is just, it doesn't stop. It keeps going. But we get given a power greater than ourselves to keep going and keep doing this work as long as we are living in in the middle, on the beam, in the middle, in the disciplines. I haven't even checked my time, and I can feel the gratitude starts welling up, and then I start running out of words. I did make a couple of notes, so you must just bear with me. I'm looking at them now. Like I said, I am a little bit nervous tonight. A lot of familiar faces smiling, beaming back at me. I see you. So that was 18 months sober. So I took the hand of a big book sponsor. We did the work. Incredible, incredible inventory experience. Oh my word, keys to freedom. Absolutely walked over to the shore of faith. What an incredible experience. We had that moment, that hour of silence. I got to review the proposals, and I had an incredible experience, But typical Nadia, I'm like a bullet, that's been pointed. So I think Billy P needs to be unmuted. Muted. Thank you. Sorry, that was just thank you. Yeah, so I'm like a bullet that gets pointed at water, when I've got something and I grab it with all my like both my hands and I sink my teeth into it and I'll go for it. But the minute that bullet hits the water, it just dwindles down. And that's what happened. I did the work, I had an incredible experience, and then I started bulking. And again, another coming to believe that there's a power greater than me. I started bulking and I started moving backwards in my work. I let go of the sponsees, work became more important. And at 2.5 years into this program and in these rooms, I was dying. I was dying a spiritual death. I was dying a spiritual death.
Shit. Oh,
This time it wasn't even the suicidal thoughts. It wasn't even the notion that I can't drink. It had nothing to do that. It was just absolute oblivion. I wasn't connecting. I wasn't in my feet. I wasn't here. I wasn't in the realm of the spirit. I didn't have my hand in the sunlight of the spirit. I wasn't connected with you guys. I was doing everything, but it was like I was just a robot. And I made my next sponsor. I'd also let go of my sponsor. She'd fallen pregnant, and you know, with that comes a lot of responsibilities. And having been a mom twice over, I knew. But that was my old ideas. What did I know? What did I know? She's in this program. She would go to any lengths. But I let go of her hand. And I was dying. 2.5 years in again. Oh. And I had another massive step one experience that my life is unmanageable. I am powerless. I'm not powerless just over alcohol and drugs. I'm powerless over absolutely everything. I'm powerless over getting up in the bed in the morning out of bed. I can't do that on my own. I've got to reach out and connect to that power. Do what it says in the Point Awakening. Ask God to divorce me. I wasn't doing any of that. I wasn't doing inventory. I wasn't doing nightly inventory. I actually can't remember what was I doing. I was dying. That's what I was doing. I was just walking around dead man again. And I went to a new meeting. God doing for me what I can't do for myself got me. I had a Monday afternoon off, very unusual for me at that time. And I was completely insane. I was in that meeting and I heard the emphasis on step 12. Like I had never heard it in these rooms. Massive emphasis. And and people speaking really not hard at each other, but people towing the line, people doing this work with the desperation of a drowning man. And all of a sudden, something in me was revived again. I reached out to her and I said, I want what you've got. And she said, all right, these are the times. Can you make them? I'm going to call you. I said, absolutely. I'll be, no problem. No questions asked. I'm coming. No half measures, willing to go to any lengths. And I had another experience. And this time, I got to see that it is a non-negotiable. The idea, the delusion that I am like other people or presently may be, has to be smashed. I cannot be in a 12-step program and I'm not working a 12th step. And that it was in that experience and how it became embedded into my AA DNA, my Alcoholics Anonymous DNA, that the 12th step is absolutely a non-negotiable for me. And that is where the most amazing came to restoring to sanity. God and I just, it was this, and that's it. That's where I live every day. And people say, yeah, but there's that pink cloud. That's old language and it's old ideas. I'm bringing something out from outside. It's possible. It's possible. We get to live like that every single day, happy, joyous, and free, because now we trust an infinite God. And I want to share something with you. I've just thought of it now. I have to remember. Gosh, I hope I do. The problem has been removed. Where is that? Kicken, can you help me, honey? Can you remember? Um, the problem has been removed. That's how it is for us. I can't remember. Anyway, it'll come to me. Oh, it's the fear prayer. It's the fear prayer. That's it. Thank you. Sorry. Just bear with me. It's the fear prayer. And that is on page 84. Is 1, 2, 3, the third paragraph. At the end of the third paragraph, it says here, I'm going to end on this because I want to leave this with you. I want you to know that when you are living in conscious contact with God, which means we've always been in contact with God, and maybe you call God or power. For me, it's the quickest, shortest word. I told you, Nana, I'm a lazy little cow. So God is the quickest word for me to use. Okay. For us, we've always been in contact with God. But through this program, we become consciously aware of God. We have conscious contact with God all the time. It says here, and this is the deal. When these crop up, so Bill is talking about our step 10 through the day, fear, resentment, like those things that we're driven by. When they crop up, we ask God at once to remove them. That's it. We ask, we pray, God, and at once they're removed. So that tells me that my problems, because my problems are of my own making, right? So while they're in here, because I'm delusional, they're real. But the minute I ask God to remove them, they're gone. And it says here, On page 85, the next paragraph, near the end, it says, the problem has been removed. It does not exist for us. Man, that is the sweetest deal ever. That is the sweetest, sweetest deal ever. There's a lot of sweet deals in this big book, but that is the sweetest deal of late. I'm a mom. I have a teenager who lives with me. I have a little boy that's in a different country, a different continent. I had a lot of problems. I don't have them anymore because I stay close to God. I perform his work well every day, every day, every day. I get to see miracles. Step 12 work is miracles, wholesale miracles. You cannot get off your pink card if you're witnessing miracles. If you're witnessing, and I'm not doing much, I'm just reading the book to these people, and you watch the eyes open, the wrinkles smooth, the shoulders drop, and the next thing they're like, hey, when can I help someone? I mean, hello, come on. That's Bill. When he had that white light experience, his first thought was to help another alcoholic. That is radical. You cannot tell me that that's a supernatural uh, doings, for want of a better word. Anyway, I'm running out. I hope that I'm on good time. And I'm just so super, super grateful for these smiling faces back here and my family that have joined here tonight to support. I love you guys. I love all of you. I love all of you. And everyone who does service here. Thank you for keeping. This is awesome. Big Book Compendium is, you will not believe, well, you will. How your YouTube has helped me on my Big Book journey, has helped me sponsor, has helped me carry the message, has helped me dive deeper into this book and learn. There's so much in this book. It's like a treasure trove, and the words rearrange themselves. Anyway, I'm going to be here all night telling you how much I love the book. I love you. Thank God for Alcoholics Anonymous. Thank God for Alcoholics Anonymous and for the people who do service here tonight. I'm so, so, so happy you were all here with me tonight. Thank you.